By the way, I want to check whether you can see the slides.
Yeah. We can see your slide very clearly. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, it seems that we have some special guests. Like Mr. Tuna, is it right? Do I pronounce your name correctly? Yeah.
Yeah, just a last check. You can hear me good? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You have pronounced it very well, Tuna. Tuna.
Thank you. So where are you living now?
Surajani in Thailand.
Wow, that's a great.
It's been 12 years, over 12 years actually.
Yeah, so that means that you are working at Songkhla University. Is it right?
Yes, that's right.
Wow, yeah, that's so wonderful.
I know I don't look like one. Actually, I'm trying to be one.
It seems like more people are getting in. Actually, for today's session, Dr. Tao, you can speak up to 1 hour and 45 minutes, something like that, or 1 hour and 40 minutes. It should be okay, and then we can raise the for the like a Q&A sessions.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope to try to finish as soon as possible. I think that my presentation doesn't last that long, maybe around 1 hour or maybe a little bit more than 1 hour, and then we're gonna Q&A. Yeah, that's going to be fun because maybe the audience, they can have different types of questions, and then we can sort it out.
Actually, I have never been visiting in Vietnam before. Yeah, I hope one day I could visit there. I have some friends. I mean, we study PhD together in the UK. So, I'm planning to visit them sometimes. Maybe after the coronavirus, I can visit them.
Yeah, we hope so, and we hope that it's going to be under control very soon. But no one is sure about this situation.
Yeah.
That's what we need to get. I would say, yes, the boosted. That means that we have the third dose. Well, fully vaccinated. We may say that we are not sure whether the fully vaccinated is okay or not. And that's what a lot of people they suggest that we need to get another booster, and the vaccination might last around 9 months, the maximum, and then we have to get the vaccination every year for sure.
Yeah, everything can be changed. The situation keeps changing all the times, not able to control.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
How about in Surat Thani, Ajahn Tuna?
Especially in Thailand. Well, everything is okay. We've got our vaccinations.
Yeah.
I've got 2 shots, AstraZeneca. I don't know if you are going to be given the 3rd one, which I think you must get a 3rd one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, another dose.
And the problem is that you never know what may turn up tomorrow. They may say no. I don't know what to do. I say no.
Okay, I think we are about to start in 2 minutes, I guess. Anyway, before we start, Dr. Tao, thank you very much for accepting the invitation, for today's session. So we are very pleased to have you here, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much for your invitation as well. You see that, this is a very good chance for me to interact with your students and my students in terms of this topic. And I hope that later on we can have further cooperation between the two universities.
Yeah.
And then our university students, they will have a chance to expand their cultural knowledge and language knowledge as well. And
Yeah.
I think that maybe in the future, if possible, to can have a chance for the students to meet in person.
Yes.
That will be very great because
Yeah.
some things they will learn when they meet in person.
So it's going to be something very interesting if we are able to run the project together between the two universities. We will be able to increase our student, like skills or whatever, to meet up between two different countries. It's going to be something very challenging and interesting and also exciting for the student.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what we are looking for. The MOU around the region. And then we have different kinds of cooperation. So for example, we have cultural exchange and lecturer exchange and academic exchange as well.
Yeah.
So that's either one of the things that we are aiming at.
Yeah, we can try to do that. In the future, let's see what we can do. The possibility.
Yeah, for sure. So things will be changed and things will be better if we try our best.
Yeah. I think now is a good time to start, I guess. It's already 5:02, I guess. Okay, I think I'm going to start now. Is it okay, Ajahn Parivat?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sure. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing this afternoon? I hope you guys are doing well during this pandemic. Welcome to our live session from PSU Open Mobility 2021. And first off, I would like to thank you, all of you, joining in, and I am delighted to have you all on board with the intellectual activity that is about to commence. Today, our invited speakers are going to share ideas and experiences concerning one of the core communication skills frequently applied in English language teaching and learning, which is the development of English speaking skills. So before we get to the gist of it, allow me to briefly introduce our moderator, Dr. Parivat Thararudi, who will be running this afternoon's live session. Dr. Thararudi has taught English courses at Prince of Songkhla University for more than 10 years. He currently teaches postgraduate and undergraduate courses, emphasizing the development of the 4 English language skills. He holds a PhD in applied linguistics from the University of Auckland and a master's degree in TESOL from the University of Edinburgh. His research interests include language teacher cognition and global Englishes. Now, it is an excellent time to officially begin our session. So, would you please join me and welcome Dr. Thararudi.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session entitled Delivering Impactful Speeches, Enhance Your Speaking Proficiency, and Influence Listener with Powerful Verbal, Nonverbal Communication. This is surely a timely and important topic for at least 2 reasons. Firstly, speaking fluently has become necessary for a successful career in many contexts. And secondly, speaking skill development has sometimes been neglected in some curriculum. In a few minutes, you will hear the presentation from our distinguished speaker, Dr. John Wooptow. After the presentation, we will run a Q&A session where you can ask our speaker some questions, or alternatively, you can type your question in the chat box. Now, let's get to know our speaker, Dr. John Wooptow. Dr. John Wooptow is currently a lecturer of English language at the Faculty of English Language, Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology in Vietnam. He has been teaching English for 20 years. He has experience in teaching English to both local and international students. His research areas are discourse analysis, English language skills, teacher professional development, and instructional design model. Without further ado, please welcome our distinguished speaker, Dr. John Wooptow, on the topic of delivering impactful speeches, enhance your speaking proficiency, and influence listener with powerful verbal, nonverbal communication. So, Dr. John Wooptow, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much ขอบคุณมากครับสวัสดีครับทุกคนครับ I hope that I can speak a little bit of Thai and then everyone can understand what I just spoke in Thai. Yeah, so everyone, I hope that everyone is okay, and I hope that you are well. And so I'm going to talk about the topic delivering impactful speeches. So for my presentation, it is just the sharing, in fact, and I hope that you can follow me, and then you can have the Q&A after that. Or if possible, during my presentation, you can have some quite questions. Just feel free for that. So, okay, so now my video about my name and about my bio data, Dr. Pariwat and Dr. Joseph just mentioned, maybe they don't have to talk about that. That I don't have to introduce about myself anymore, so I can go to the main presentation. Okay, so everyone, before I go into the main presentation, I would like to have some kind of questions so that everyone just turn on the mic, or if possible, you can show your hand raised and answer the questions. So everyone, we have some questions here. On what occasion do you give a speech? And how did you feel when giving a speech? And are you afraid of your public speaking? And what should you do to deliver a successful speech? So everyone just try to answer the questions, or if possible, you can just type your answers in the chat box. Yeah, it will be okay. And I highly appreciate your answers. Or okay, just some seconds or some minutes for you. So based, we have the questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it depends on you. So now we have the first one on what occasion did you give a speech? Yeah, for me, usually we for me like this. So this is the way, this is the time for me to give a speech. And maybe it is a speech or maybe a presentation. So what about you? So when do you give a speech, everyone?
Maybe in the class or in the conference.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, yeah. So we have different times to deliver a speech. Usually for the students, they have to deliver a speech and a lot. Yeah, because maybe a short speech and maybe a long speech. And maybe sometimes if you're famous, if you are invited for a special event, you have to deliver a speech. And sometimes, when you have to debate for something, or when when you have to convince people for some kind of things, and then you have to deliver a speech as well. So this is the reason that we have to do that. And how do you feel when you deliver a speech, everyone?
It's already keeping me exciting actually when I have to give a speech, even though I have done many speech from my experience. But every time when I realize that I have to go to speech, I mean, for some group of people, it already keeping me anxiety.
Yeah, for sure. So you say that usually at the first time, maybe for the first 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we feel very nervous or anxious, and then we can control ourselves. So that's the reason why that's what we say, that's quite normal, and that's the nature of the human beings when we have something to talk in front of a big audience or in a large audience, for example. So are you afraid of public speaking? What about the others? Are you afraid of public speaking, everyone? Just say some, not that much.
Sometimes depends on our audiences. Sometimes
for sure.
Depends on our audiences.
I feel very nervous when I have to give like impromptu speech. If I'm prepared, it's okay.
Yeah, because prepare we can remember from the script, so that's why.
Easier.
Right. Right. We say that. Usually when we have the impromptu speech and we are really nervous, we are very it seems that we feel very stressful when we have to do it in that way. And then what should we do to deliver a successful speech? So you can see that in my presentation. I hope that by the end of my presentation, I hope that you will be able to find your own ways to deliver a successful speech. And maybe you can develop your own ways, or maybe you can base on some of my suggestions. Yeah, and then yeah, you can do it well. So now we're going to have some tips before that. So how to become a great speaker? So any suggestions, everyone?
I always heard my students when I ask them to have like a speech in front of the class, they always keep saying something like I try to practice, try to speak in front of the mirrors and try to make recording. And after that, I back to check based on what they have recorded regarding their voice, their intonations, their grammars or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I have some recommendation for you, some suggestions for you. So we can see that the first one. Yeah, when you deliver a speech or when you try to say something in front of a big audience, the first thing that you don't have to remember everything. So you just focus on the key points, and then based on your, and then you will develop the ideas. Yeah, but during the time you talk, if you do in that way, you don't have to focus on every detail. You have to remember that you will deliver a speech in a natural way. So, and then we have the next one. Don't speak too fast.
Actually, I have a question for you for the first one. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
You are breaking up. No.
Yeah, go ahead. Internet is a little bit low. Hello, do you can hear?
Okay. Yes. We can hear you now. You are back now, right? Yes. Actually, before you move to the second point, actually, I have like a quick question for you to ask for the first one. Okay. Do not try to memorize a speech, right? I mean, for those students who are very low proficiency of English language, so maybe it's very difficult for them in order to build up their own speech, without memorizing. So, I mean, for those learners who have a very high English proficiency, okay, it's maybe easy for them. I mean, for this technique. So, do you have any suggestion for those learners who are very low English language proficiencies?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Good question. Yeah, Dr. Yusuf, you know that? Yeah, for a lot of people who have an advanced level English language proficiency, it's quite easy for them to deliver speech. And if they have a low level of English language proficiency, so usually they have to try to remember that sentence by sentence or idea by idea. So how do we do with this? The first tip. So don't try to memorize a speech. Yeah, this is for sure, because they have to practice. Yeah, they have to practice a lot, because they have to use. Yeah, they have to write down the main ideas for themselves, and then they have to practice in the way that they can use. If they just focus on every detail and then they try to remember everything from the paper, from the notes, and sometimes their speech is not very natural, because it seems that they are reading, not delivering a speech. So what we want to hear is a natural speech, and the things that they have to come from their mind. And sometimes they have to decide the words, or they have to address the situation in the current time. Let me start with the audience. Sometimes if they try to remember everything and suddenly there is something wrong, or they forget something, and then they get stuck, and then they can't say anything. That is for sure.
Yeah, they're going to forget for the rest of the speech. Actually, that's what I found.
Yes, yeah, for sure. That's why it's not very good for most of people. Yeah, try to remember everything from that speech, and to some extent they can remember things from their paper, from their preparation, but it's not very good to remember everything from the speech. At least they have the main ideas they can remember, or the main the main points, and then they have to remember. So these are the things that they have to know. And then the next, this is the number two. They don't have to speak too fast, and for sure it's quite similar to the question raised by Dr. Yusuf. It means that some low-level students, they cannot speak fast, for sure. So they have to speak a little bit slowly, and then if they practice enough, and then they can speak in the way that they can feel comfortable with. And then we have the next one. We have done overuse visual aids. That is for sure, because a lot of people, they try to use different types of visual aids in their presentation. For example, the charts, the pie charts, and a lot of animations in the presentation. And this is not really effective. If the main content is not there, they just focus on the things to visualize the things that they want to decide. Right, so we see that we have the number 4. Yes, so they have to close that switch with a call to action. It means that after that speech, so what the speaker want the audience to do. So we see that you have for the advanced learners, that it's quite easy for them to do, but for low level language level students, so how is it possible for them to do? So it's better for them to talk to the people. Maybe they need to consult their teachers for their supervisor or academic advisor for their ideas in order to have this kind of things, which I call to action. So, and then that speech will be meaningful to the audience, to some extent. And then we can move on to point by point. So we have 10 steps, maybe not really the steps, but we have 10 things I want to share with you. The first one, how to prepare a speech. So for you, so how do you often prepare for your speech? Do you have any suggestion, everyone, or what do you have to do when you prepare a speech?
Jot down the script.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, jot down the script, for sure.
I think maybe before shutting down the script, maybe we need to make sure that we understand the contents of the topic that we are going to speak by try to find out more information. And then we can summarize the information and try to, ask ourselves if we really understand regarding the topic that we are going to give a speech first, and then we can start jotting down or whatever. That's what I think.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a better way. So some of the people in the audience, they say that no, my audience is and learn about your audience, for sure. So the first step. So before. For sure, we have to know the audience. So from my point of view, we say that we have to know the content, or we have to prepare the main points that you want to make, or the main examples. So because we don't have to remember everything, every detail from our speech, so we have to list out the main points for our speech, and then we have the main point and every examples. So we have the main point and examples, and then we just write them down in the paper, and then we can take a look at the paper during our speech, and then we just explain the main points, and then we can explain the main examples. Besides, we have to learn our audience, and we have to organize the content. This is the thing. For the first step. And the second step, so we have to think about the way to start with important, in the way that we help the student, we interest the student, interest the audience. If we have the very interesting introduction, and then the audience will get attracted, or will pay more attention to our talk. So we have different ways, and maybe we see that different people have different ways to start with their topic. So maybe some people they use humor, maybe some people might ask some kind of questions, maybe people can have a chit chat, a short talk with the audience in order to see how the audience know whether the audience knows about the topic that we are talking or not. And then we can move on to the next one, is step number 3. So it's better for us to write down the conclusion. So we have the first one, the main points and the introduction, and we have the conclusion. So the conclusion, again, we need to call for the action. So the action, so what do we have to want what do we want the audience to do after listening to us. So yeah, these are the things that we have to prepare for the speech. And sometimes we have to to consider whether the topic is really interesting to the audience or not, because sometimes we are going to deliver a speech to the audience, but the topic is out of the interest for the audience, and it's not really good. So we have to think about this one. And then we can move on to the next one, to how to manage time in a speech effectively. So everyone, before we had the speech, and then we have to prepare it, and then during the time, to deliver speech, what do we have to do in term they speak, they run out of time during the speech, or some people, they maybe we say that they speak too fast, and then they do not so for you. So how do you manage the time? So everyone, do you have any idea for this? You can type in the chat spots, everyone. All right. Yeah.
For me, I usually break down my speech into different parts, and then I assign the time for each part, and I practice them like separately before mingle them together, so I can like know how much I need to speak to fill up the time or not to exceed the time.
Yeah, thank you. That's so great. Yeah, so when we say that we have different parts, because for sure in our speech there are different parts, and then we have to divide the times for different parts. And in terms of students, so a lot of the students in our it means that we have to practice, and then we before giving a speech, practice by certain time. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, we say some tips. So we have first one, time yourself as you practice your complete speech once in the first you. Before you deliver your speech officially, you need to know how much time it takes you to deliver a speech by practicing. So by practicing, and then you can set your time for the speech, and then you will know that, whether you can have enough time for your speech or not. So for example, you have 3 points or 5 points, and for the students, maybe most of the audience in our talk today, they are the students, and they need to practice a lot in order to see whether the time is okay for them or not. And that's why the practice. Yeah, this is the key term for us. So time yourself. Time for yourself. And then we have the tip number 2. So we have set time for each part. For sure, because usually we have 3 different parts in our talk. So we have introduction, body, and we have conclusion, and then we have the body. Usually it takes around maybe some minutes, and the conclusion is also in that way, some minutes. And what's about the main part, the main body? The main body, it depends on your main ideas. Maybe you have 3 main ideas or 4 main ideas, and then you have to divide the time for different parts of the main idea. And then the last one is very useful. Sometimes if you have your friends, your friend as a reminder. Sometimes so usually for the conference, and a lot of people, they have some people answer at a time reminder, and then they can show your time for you, maybe 5 minutes left or 10 minutes left, and then we can manage our talk. So whether we can have to slow down, or whether we have to go up a little bit fast. So maybe we have the other ways. But basically, so the first tip is when regardless you are good or not good. For students, a lot of students, they are maybe they are very experienced in delivering a speech in front of the class, in front of their friends, and then they can do it very well. And a lot of maybe we say low level students, they have to struggle with their time, because during their speech they may forget something, and then they are a little bit reluctant in delivering a speech. So that's why it's better for them to practice a lot. This is, we say, the magic term for everyone. So maybe for us too. So because if we don't practice, we don't have to rehearse our what we are going to talk. Maybe we may forget things, and then sometimes the psychology in ourselves, maybe we feel a little bit nervous or too nervous in delivering a speech, and then it can affect our talk as well, and then it can affects the time management as well. And then we can come to the next one. So how to overcome fear of public speaking. So usually we see that we are human being, and then being afraid of something, or being nervous or anxious about something is quite usual. It's quite normal. And here we have the public speaking. It means that we have to stand in front of a lot of people. And if we are confident enough, then it's really okay. And if you are not confident enough, then it's really be a problem for us. So for you, maybe for students here and a lot of you here, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking? So everyone.
For me, I just believe in myself. During when I was in university, I used to take course of public speaking, right? So I have to give a speech in a public place. So I practice a lot, and then I just believe in myself that at the end I can do that. Yes, just believe in myself.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we see that. Yeah, that's a very good answer. You see that when you believe in yourself, it means that you think that, or you believe that you will be able to do it. Yeah, that's very good, because when you believe in yourself, it means that you are confident in things that you are going to do. And this is a very, very good point. And some people are here, they mentioned that they practice in front of mirror. Yeah, that's a wonderful show, because again, you can see that the magic word practice. Yeah, nothing else, just practice. Yeah, so everyone, you need to practice, and then things will be yours, and you will be successful. And when you practice enough, and then you will believe that, oh, I can do it, because you have practiced it a lot of times. And then when you come to the main audience, or when you come to the official speech, and it's quite normal for you, because you have done it many times, and then nothing else that you are scared of. So sometimes maybe for some first seconds, or for some first minutes, you might feel a little bit stressful, because the audience is quite new to you, and the setting or the atmosphere is not what you expect, and everything, it seems a little bit strange, or something very strange happened to you, and then you feel a little bit nervous. But when you believe in yourself, it means that you practice enough, and then everything is really good for you. Okay. And yes, so some people mention here, take a deep breath and make yourself to be confident. Yeah, this is one for sure. Yeah, thank you very much. And well prepared, relax, and break the ice. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. So you can see that we have here the magic word again, practice. Yeah, nothing else. Yeah, just keep practicing a lot. Time after time, and then things will be yours. Yeah, your success will be yours. Yeah, so you can see that practice, and then we have the next one, to breathe. You breathe deeply before you get up to speak. Yeah, sometimes they have to. Yeah, for example, for this one online here, sometimes you have to deliver a speech. So maybe you feel a little bit nervous or anxious. Breathe and no one can see that. Okay. So yeah, I'll take a deep breath. Or sometimes I just turn up the cam and then try to relax myself a little bit, and then I turn it on, and then I'm feeling really okay. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this happens. Yeah, to have a lot of people for sure. Then we have the next one. So we say visualize yourself speaking confidently and successfully. Yeah, this is one for sure. That's this point. Yeah, one of the audience just mentioned is when it means that you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. It means that you see your success in advance, and then you figure out, oh, yeah, it's very easy. It's a piece of cake for you to do that, and then you will be able to do that, because psychology is very important. Psychology can help you, can push you up to heaven, or maybe it will pull you down. So try to conquer your psychology. And then we have the tip number 4, so 5 friendly faces in the crowd. So everyone, you see that whenever you deliver a speech, yeah, for example, for students, when you deliver a speech in your class, and then maybe it's better for you to look at your best friend's faces, or someone's that you love, and then you feel confident with. Yeah, for example, in our talk here, maybe I can see the different beautiful and handsome faces here, and then we will look at you. And when you smile, it means that, oh, I feel confident. But when you look at someone who is a little bit nervous, who is a little bit anxious, like you, and then you feel, oh, yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, what wrong with me, or what wrong with my speech? Yeah, that's the way that we have to see. Because when you see someone, yeah, friendly, yeah, with the friendly face, and then you will feel a little bit more comfortable. So sometimes if you can't see anyone with the friendly face, yeah, just look at their forehead. Yeah, do not look at direct eye contact. Maybe you feel a little bit more nervous than before. So these tips, I hope that they will help you somehow to overcome the fear of public speaking. And for the students, so how do you overcome the fear of the speech? And so maybe we see that in the reality, when you have to deliver a speech in your class, and then you feel it's very stressful. So the magic term, just practice, and then find your best friends, and then just focus on those. Yeah, maybe you don't have to look at your teacher. If you look at your teacher or lecturer, maybe you feel more nervous than before. Okay, and then we can. Yes, so someone mentioned here, make yourself free, so you will let the audience feel, that's way too, for sure, because we are stressful, and the audience will be stressful too. Okay, and then everyone, we can have, this kind of a short clip. You will be able to watch it, and then watch a short clip and take notes. The tips to public speaking, the sounds. So,
all right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to, oh my gosh.
Do you hear the sound, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you hear the sound? Yeah, thank you.
Just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to, oh my gosh. How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. You're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking. And that's okay, because on today's webcast, we've got our triple P method that will get you through and get you calm during that next oral report and keep your breakfast where it belongs. Ready? Many polls list public speaking as the most commonly reported phobia among Americans. It's called glossophobia, meaning literally fear of this to 48 women and 48 men enrolled in a public speaking class and found that those who exhibited high trait anxiety had the most physical symptoms of distress when speaking publicly. So what if you're the kind of person whom any bit of social acrobatics is tantamount to entering a lion's den? Hey, calm down. Okay, I'm just kidding. But seriously, calm down. All right, we've got our triple P method that'll get you through that next public speaking gig. Pause and print this wellcast worksheet. Step 1, prepare, prepare, prepare. We said it 3 times because it's that important.
There are 2 things that go into being prepared. Number 1, knowing your subject backwards and forwards. 2, knowing exactly how you're going to present it step by step. In your wellcast worksheet, write down points you want to get across to the audience. Get the ideas out of your head and onto the paper.
And the next column to the right, start ordering the first. Start with some fancy footwork, a fact or an anecdote that will hook the audience in and get them to pay attention to you. Then throw a couple of swings, something that will start to convince the audience that you're taking control. And finally, the knockout, a landing blow of statements that's memorable, convincing, and sums up your speech's position. All right, step 2, posture and physicality are key. Part of keeping your anxiety at bay while giving your speech is knowing what to do with your body.
Before your speech, avoid large meals or dairy products, which will make you feel like you need to clear your throat incessantly. Bring a bottle of water on stage if you're allowed. Don't be afraid to take sips throughout your speech. It'll keep your voice natural, and it gives you a moment to pause and regain your composure if needed. Stand naturally, not too stiff or slumped. Good posture will help you breathe and speak easier, and it'll let your audience know that you're calm and in control.
Step 3, pander to your audience. The best public speakers know how to work the room. Don't be completely serious unless the occasion calls for it. Don't read entirely out the cards. Keep a natural cadence and pace. Throw a joke or a side in. It'll draw in a laugh. If there's a silence, then turn that into a joke. Stay natural, self-effacing, and the audience will be on your side. Let's recap. You'd rather face a poisonous reptile than public speak, huh? Well, follow the wellcast triple P checklist. Prepare extensively for your speech. Know your content backwards and forwards, and figure out the absolute best way to present it and to win over your audience. Watch your posture and physicality. This includes everything from standing naturally to breathing from your diaphragm.
And pander to your audience. Keep them in the palm of your hand and with an easy demeanor, natural cadence, and of course, jokes.
Tweet us at Watch.
All right, so everyone, yeah, you just watch a clip about how to overcome the fear of public speaking. So what do you learn from the clip, everyone? Yeah, you can type in the chat box. You see that the market so on backward and forward. Yeah, that means teaching your subject clearly. Yeah, what you want to do, exactly what you are going to present it. Yeah, so yeah, the 2 key things. Yeah, in terms of preparation, and the next one is posture and physicality. So that means that the way you stand if you are in the classroom, so the way you stand, or if you are in a conference, or if you are in a virtual talk like this, so the way that you sit in, so everyone can see your face, and it's not in the way that you are somewhere else. And then the pander to the audience means that you should not be so serious. It means that a little bit relaxing, and you need to create a friendly atmosphere, because the audience want to see your happy face, your friendly face, and then they will show your happy face back. If you just keep your face quite serious, and the audience may feel, oh, why? There's something wrong with that speaker, and everyone may feel very stressful. So don't read up the cards. Sometimes to remember the key points. Don't try to look at the cards or the notes, and then don't try to read them. And then it's not very natural as well. All right, so we have the number 4. So how to get the audience attention. So you see that this is one of the key things that we have to do, because we have to prepare. We have to know how to overcome the fear and how to manage the times, and then we have to get the audience attention. So do you have any ideas, everyone, how to attract the audience attention?
Maybe we can start a speech by asking them some questions.
Yeah, right. Thank you for your contribution. What's with the tell a story? Thank you, Sujada. Okay. What's with the others? So we have different ways to start a speech. Set up some jokes. For sure. Thank you. So everyone, you can see that on the slide, we have the first one. We have the common way. That's it. We say ask a question or some questions. Maybe we can have some kind of small talk with the audience. That's going to be a bit okay. Because sometimes you are quite nervous, or you are a little bit anxious about the speech that you are going to talk. And by asking some questions or small chats with the audience, and then you will calm yourself down. This is one of the ways. Call out individuals in the audience. Thank you for your contribution. And then we can have the next one with the next tip. So set up some jobs again. So we might start with some kind of facts or surprising statistics. For example, today we just talked about something. For example, we talked about the current issues beside the coronavirus or COVID-19 and Omicron. For example, we just mentioned a lot of situations in terms of statistics, and then we can start with the speech, and then we can have the next one. We say describing a problem. This is the things that we can do. Okay. And for example, when I for my talk, for example, how to deliver an impactful speech, I might describe some problems for those who suffer from, or they have to deliver a speech, and some kind of problems that they may have. So we can start with this, and then we can have with the story. That's going to be okay. We can start a story and that's something interest the audience. So this is why some kind of tips that I hope that they are some kind of help. And then start your speech with humor. This is one for sure. A lot of people can do this. Maybe for advanced learners. What about the low-level students? How is it possible for them to use a humor? So what about you? Have you ever used the humor in your speech? Maybe in our mother tongue, it's quite easy. But for in another language, for example, we say the second language, it's not very easy. What about Mr. Tuna? Do you often use the humor in your speech?
Mostly, yes, mostly. Not all the time, but mostly I do. But my question is, I've got a question actually. Starting off your speech with a question, don't you think that it may be a little bit repulsive? I mean, when you start off your question with a question, excuse me, what do you think? So do you think that it may be a bit repulsive, like repellent? Oh my God, I may be asking another question. I better leave. What do you think about this? I mean, because I tried this before. I wouldn't work.
Thank you for your question. You see that a lot of people, they don't want to be asked because they just want to come to the audience, and then they want to listen to something, and then suddenly the speaker asks him or her some kind of question, and then they feel that, oh, Normally, it seems that the speakers wants to text me or something. Is it right? Yeah, Mr. Tuna?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Hello.
Bluetooth mode.
Hello.
Yeah, it seems that yeah, from the staff from Marvin. Did you want to say something? Yeah, that's okay now. And so you see that usually we just start the questions by simple questions, not very serious questions. If we ask the serious questions, and then everyone may think that, oh, yeah, this is the big question for me to think, because I'm just come to listen to you, and then you just ask me some big questions, and then I can't answer that question, and then maybe they think that they may lose their face in front of a lot of people, and then they just feel that they may feel upset. You just have some kind of warm-up questions. Yeah, that's going to be okay. Yeah, don't try to ask so maybe say the questions about the subject matter, and that's maybe that doesn't really work, I think.
Yeah, or maybe you can try to ask the question that that can link to the audience.
Yes, yeah, thank you. So maybe there's some kind of questions, for example, just warm-up questions, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, because warm-up questions like the way that we have a short conversation or chit-chat, in order to warm up before we can go into the main presentation. And what about the audience? What about the students? So how do they do this? Maybe they can ask some kind of questions relevant to their previous knowledge. Yeah, that's really okay. But the questions about the content that he or she is going to talk, it's maybe that's why it doesn't really work.
And the to my experience, when I teach students in the class, when I prefer to when I prefer the audience to keep the attention to the class, I normally using like some kinds of a short video clips to students, and that's going to help them a lot in order to pay attention to the class. Yeah, I think showing some interesting video is going to help a lot in the class before we start in the class.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's very interesting. So the students will feel that, oh, yeah, that's very good. So I will focus on the lesson, and we focus on what he is going to talk about. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. And when you say that we are how to make a successful public speaking, we say here different things. Yeah, focus on the audience, not on the words. Yeah, for sure, because this is the way that we are doing. So when we deliver speech, you just focus on everyone's feeling, not your feeling. Yeah, so how people are feeling and what people are thinking about the topic that you are talking to. So you don't have to focus on your slides or on your paper that you prepare, and then everything that's the audience and they are part of your speech. So this is very important. So we need to know the audience, and then you need to pay attention to them. You need to care of their feelings and the emotions during your speech. And then we have the tip number 2. We have research your audience, and for sure. So some people mentioned a little bit earlier. We need to know our audience very well. So we need to know who they are, what they expect us to say. So this is the way that we have to do. And then we have the next one. So so it's better for us to use you. Yeah, so if, for example, I'm talking to you, so I need to talk to you instead of using the other pronouns. So it will be more friendly, and then it seems like a conversation between the speaker and an audience. Yeah, this is the way. And what about the situation in our class? So our students, when they have to do a speech, so maybe they have to use, some students they use teacher. It seems that they are delivering a speech, but they seem to talk to the lecturer or teacher, not to their friends. So maybe we need to help our students that whenever you talk or deliver a speech in the classroom, it's better for you to use you, instead of talking to your teachers, do not focus on the teachers. Do not you just focus on your friends because they are the main audience, not the teacher. So we are tip number two. You still have to practice. So this is the magic word. Magic word. Practice and practice, practice and practice, and then everything will be yours. Okay. And then we come to the next one here about the language. So it is very powerful. So the ways that you say, maybe sometimes non-verbal communication is much more important than the verbal communication. So body language, your eyes and your hand movements. So everyone here, the tip number one is to be natural. So don't try to be unnatural. Don't use your hands too much. You just like this way. It means that you are dancing, you are moving your hands, and then you puzzle the audience. And then we have the next one here, keep eyes contact during the speech. Yeah, for sure. So don't look at somewhere, don't look at the ceiling, don't look at the floor. So just try to see our audience in the eye. And sometimes if the audience is very serious, so it's better for us to look for friendly faces, and then it may work. And then we look slowly from side to side to make eye contact with the whole audience. That is for sure. For example, in our virtual talk today, maybe they can't see all of you because the cameras are off. That's what I can't move my eyes. Just maybe just some people here with the camera. Thank you for turning on the camera. And then I can see your beautiful face or handsome face. And then I can see your smile, and then it might help me a lot. Okay, so everyone now, so you are going to watch a clip, and then you have to take so we are three things here: we eye contact and smile, postures and gestures and pose and not. And so we have direct eyes contact, look at nose, look at floor, ceiling, one touch, one look, smile. So which one is okay? So we may start in terms of do's and don'ts. Okay, so we have shuffle feet, while loose clasp your hands in pockets, hands behind back, hands at bell level. Pause and not after a key point, not is contagious. So everyone now, you are going to watch a clip.
When we stand and present, we want to come across as confident and composed. And one of the great ways to do that is by working on our body language. Let's look at 3 ways to improve your nonverbal body language in presentations. Coming up. Hello again, friends. If you've never seen one of my videos, I'm Alex Line, and this channel, Communication Coach, is here to help you increase your impact so you can lead your teams to higher levels of excellence. And I believe that presentation skills are a really important part of leadership. You're going to be standing and presenting quite frequently if you're in any kind of leadership position. So we want to get just a little bit better at this. Let's look at 3 ways you can improve your nonverbal body language so that people can hear your message in a much more confident and composed way. And these tips, by the way, go together. So each of the 3 tips have a couple of pieces, as you'll see. So the first tip is eye contact and smile. So eye contact, you have to look directly into somebody's eyes that's listening about 99% of the time. You don't want to look too much at your notes. You don't want to look back at your slides, really. You certainly don't want to look at their heads. A lot of bad habits out there in terms of eye contact. You want to look directly in someone's eyes, almost. That really takes quite a bit of practice. The other thing you want to thought and then move on to the next person. So you don't want to just stare at one person the whole time, and you don't want to scan so that you're never locking in. A communication coach actually once told me, 1 thought, 1 look. So long enough to finish about a sentence, feel that connection, and then you go on to the next person. So what do you do with your face while you're making eye contact? You've got to smile. A lot of times people get overly robotic when they present. They might be making good eye contact, but their face is stern and it doesn't look like anything's happening emotionally. You want to smile and warm your face up a little bit so that when you're making eye contact with somebody, they feel a connection with you that's welcoming and supportive. You don't want to come across as a deer in the headlights. Tip number 2, posture and gestures. And these things go together. So in terms of what not to do for posture, you don't want to shuffle your feet back and forth. You don't want to sway your hips. You don't want to cross and uncross your legs repetitively. You don't want to pace around like a wild person. By the way, if you want to walk in a presentation, it's okay to walk a little bit, but make sure when you walk, you stop and you say a little bit before you walk again. So walk with a purpose, stop, share your message, and then maybe a minute or so later, walk again. Don't pace. So once you have these don'ts out of the way, what should you do? You want to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. This is how you would stand if you weren't self-conscious about how you're standing. We get self-conscious when we present, but really all you have to do is stand like a normal person. Then you want to put just a tiny bit of weight on the front of your foot and a little tiny bit lighter on your heels, and your whole foot is still touching, but you have a little bit more of a ready, responsive position. You also want to soften your knees a little bit. You don't want to have locked knees. Bad things happen when you lock your knees. I'm not sure of the physiology of it, but when people lock their knees, they oftentimes pass out when they're nervous, and you don't want to do that in the middle of your presentation. So soften those knees. Now you've got your posture. Let's add some gestures to it. You don't want to put your hands in your pockets. You don't want to put your hands behind your back. You don't want to grab onto different parts of your body for security. All that looks very distracting. So here's what you should do. You should loosely clasp your hands at about belt level. So then you should just gesture naturally from there. You don't want to interlock your fingers, and you don't want to wring your hands, because then you'll get too locked in and it's hard to let go. But if you practice at home just loosely clasping your hands like this, then just start to gesture naturally from here. And that's the way to do it. Small little gestures just like this. You can do this all day long, and it's just going to add a nice emphasis to your words, and it's not going to be distracting whatsoever. Tip number 3, you want to pause. And when you pause after a key idea, add a little tiny bit of a nod. I've seen some really convincing and persuasive speakers do this. And what you'll notice, if you pause after a key idea and nod, that pause is really persuasive, but the nodding is contagious. You'll see the people listening to you actually start to nod a little bit with you. And that's one of the ways that you know you have them. It's a very subtle but powerful nonverbal body language tip. So those are my 3 tips for improving your nonverbal body language when you're presenting. But I'd like to hear your tips. Question of the day: how do you recommend that we improve our body language while we're presenting? Please put the comments below in that section. I look forward to reading those. So thanks, God bless. I'll see you in the next video. When we stay.
So everyone now, so we will see here which one is do and which one is done. And so we have the first one, direct eye contact. Yeah, do a done, everyone. Yes, this one for sure. Yeah, do. And what about look at nose? Yeah, sometimes it's okay, but yeah, not usually. Yeah, so yeah, we say yeah, done. And what about look at the floor or ceiling? Yeah, done. And one thought, one look. Yeah, so oh, sorry, this one, yeah, is okay. Yeah, and what about smile? Yes, yes. And what are the postures and gestures? And shuffle feet? Do you have the shuffle feet? Is that okay? Yeah, this is the way you stand. Yeah, when you deliver speech. And what about sway? And loose claps. Yes, yes, and hands in pockets. So there's a lot of people that feel quite comfortable with your hands in pockets. Yeah, so this is the way a lot of people often do. Yeah, maybe no, your hands behind back. Yeah, okay, hands at the belt level. It is okay. And whatever pose and not after the key point, it means that you need to make a pose. Yeah, but for sure, what about not contagious? It means that when you agree with something, and then the audience might agree with you too. So it's all right. All right. Yeah, thank you. And everyone, we can move on to your voice. So how do you use your voice? In a
I just have a short question before we move to number 7. Okay, for the body language. How about if we have to give a speech like in another country, we have different cultural backgrounds to our home country. Is it necessary that we have to learn and understand the cultures of the audience first before we start giving the speech? Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the question. You see that yeah, when usually it happens and when we have to deliver a speech in an international audience, and a lot of people are from different cultural backgrounds to the audience, and then that's what we need to know the audience very well, and then we need to know some kind of gestures that are suitable or not suitable in terms of culture. So for us, maybe the culture in terms of culture, some kind of body language is okay, but do the others, it's not really okay, and then it may be maybe result as a size of insulting. So it's not very good. That's what we have to learn, or we have to know our audience well, and then who they are. So what kind of things that are not suitable in terms of body language. So I think that. So what about your idea about this one? Yeah, what about Tuna and Joseph? And do you have any other ideas about this one? Do we have to
I've never had the opportunity to do public speaking in another country. Yeah, but I would say Dr. Yusuf is right. I mean, before you start doing a public speaking in another country, it will be good. It will be it will give you some advantages to prepare yourself for the culture of the country. So that has something to do with knowing your audiences. So yeah, that has something to do with knowing your audiences. So the more you know about your audiences, the more comfortable you may feel, or more confident you may feel. I think Dr. Yusuf has got a good point in this.
I mean, from my own experience, I was once I was invited to be a speaker in Pakistan, I guess. Yeah, I traveled there and I have never been there before. So before I starting my speech, I normally ask my friends, who is a local one, ask him if I can or cannot do this or do that. Yeah, I mean, this can be one technique that we can do actually. Yeah, because it seems like when we talk about the cultures, different countries have different cultures. What we can do in our countries, it doesn't mean that we can do in another country. So, and sometimes cultural sensitivity is very important. It's something which is very sensitive for everyone. So it's maybe better if we consider what we can or cannot, or we should or should not do. Yeah, before giving the speech. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. Yeah, and your ideas.
Example, hands in pockets. Dr. Tao. I don't know. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name.
But it's okay.
But I mean, putting your hands in your pockets in America or in the UK, I speaking for Scotland, or in Germany, France, or in Turkey, wouldn't be a problem. But if you do it in other country, people may think that you are very
smart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very implied. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So you see that in terms of culture. So yeah, hands in pockets. Yeah, somewhere it is appropriate. But the other places it's not really appropriate.
Yeah,
because,
agree.
yeah, it seems that you are bossy, and then it means that you are the big person in the audience. And then you are delivering something and you are teaching us. So maybe the audience don't feel very comfortable with that kind of gesture. So so here in the clip that person mentioned that it's better for us to put our hands at the bell level, so we feel comfortable with. So get back to the culture. So we see that.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing goes for Turkey example. I mean, if you want to do your presentation or you're doing your public speaking in front of people with your hands at your belt level, people would say, "Oh my God, you're very unprofessional. Can't do that."
Yeah,
I mean, this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, thank you. So it seems that a little bit controversial in terms of body language, because no one, or it means that not we all can't agree with the body language for the common sense, because different cultures, we have different sense of the things that we are using. And get back to the point of culture. So for example, here when I was invited to deliver speech to the Thai students, and then I have to consider that. So your Thai students have some kind of culture. So whether it's okay for me to do this or that. And then before I start my speech, it's better for me to say some Thai language. So that's it will be. It seems that I showed my friendliness to the audience, because most of you are Thai, and then it will be very, very good for me. And sometimes I use this one. It will be okay for me. And I know that in terms of culture, so we have different way to write. So like this is this, and then you have to know it. And I need to know how to do it appropriately. And then it will be okay. If I do a little bit strange and weird, or it's not very good. So in terms of body language, again, so it is very controversial, and it depends on the speakers. And we have to consider whenever we go to somewhere to deliver speech in terms of international audience, and we need to know our audience very well. As some people in the chat box, they mentioned that we have to know our audience very well in order to make a successful speech. Thank you for your questions and for your contribution. And we're going to move on to the next part. We say that your voice, that is very important. Sometimes if your voice is very too sharp or too loud, and then it's not very good. So you have to adjust the way that we have to speak. So you see that it should be loud enough. And sometimes a lot of people, they are kind of nervous or anxious or excited, and then their voice is not heard, it's not loud enough. And then we have the number 2. So we have to practice our speech, because when we speak in a foreign language, and sometimes the voice is not there for the others to listen to, and then we have to practice our speech. And then it should be clear enough. And then so in terms of language skills, so for example, we say that the pronunciation and the accent and everything should be clear, so that the audience can listen to you. And we have the next one. We say that so we should not be too serious. If we are too serious, and your voice will be serious too, and then sometimes your voice may sound a little bit bossy, and then it's not very good, and that's why. Okay, so it means that we need to show that we are happy with the audience. We are very eager to welcome the responses from the audience, and we show our respect to the audience. That will be very good. All right, and we can move on to the next part. We say the policy in public speaking. So you can see that in the previous clip, we also watch and we can also learn something in terms of policy. And now we have this one. So when we give the opening, and then it's better for us to pause a little bit, and then in order to let the audience and think or reflect a little bit. And then so we can ask some questions, and then we can give the time to the audience to think. Don't try to be so aggressive. If in that way, the audience may feel very, very scared. Okay. And then we are the other way. So we say that we are to give a key fact or some kind of statistic, especially in terms of numbers. Sometimes we have to give some numbers, and then we need to give some time, or maybe some seconds to the audience to think, to reflect. Don't try to rush yourself. Okay. And then we have visual aids in the public speaking. So we see that we have different types of visual aids. So for you, so what kinds of visual aids do you often use in your speaking, in your speech? You can type in the chat box.
Normally, I use PowerPoint.
I use and I use pointer as well.
Yes, the PowerPoint from Muhammad. Yeah, thank you. Yes, so from the PowerPoint, the pointer, yeah, from Dr. Yusuf. Yeah, thank you. Yes, so we have different things. So when we say that we have different types of visual aids. And for example, we have usually pictures. We have the, for example, for me, I use pictures. We have the clips, and sometimes the clip powerful because they have sounds, they have the images, they have the visualization inside in the clips. Okay, so one of the ways that we use the visual aids, it means that we need to help the students to remember what you want to say. For example, for me, I use the clips. They work more than my words because they are easy to remember. But maybe from my talk, maybe after 1 hour or 30 minutes, you might forget everything I just talked to you, but the clip is really okay, and the image is really okay. And then we have the next one. So visual aids must be simple. So simple enough for the student, for the things that they convey. And the next one, it should be big enough. So it should not too small and too large. And then sometimes the visual aids will cover or to prevent the audience from understanding the things that you want to say. And you need to prepare and practice how to use the visual aids. Sometimes if the visual aid doesn't work well and it's not very good. Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you. From Muhammad. From the new chat. Okay, support the message. For sure. Thank you, Sujada. All right. So now everyone, we can see here. Maybe this is the last clip. Watch the clip and take notes about this one. Again, visual aid.
Giving a speech is hard enough, but then you have to also use a visual aid. Don't panic. I'm here to help. But first things first, what is a visual aid? A visual aid is a clarifying device that helps your audience to understand your speech. Your visual aid should be a supplement to what you are saying. It should enhance and help your audience to understand your message. A visual aid could be a PowerPoint presentation, a video clip, a handout, an artifact, or even some sort of prop that you bring to class. For most public speaking classes, you will be required to bring a photo or some sort of digital presentation. These visual aids will be used in conjunction with your speech in order to better inform, persuade, or entertain your audience. Here are 5 basic points for using visual aids. 1. Plan or write your speech before finding your visual aid. Your speech should not be centered on your visual aid. You should have a cohesive, effective speech that is then enhanced by the use of your visual aid. 2. Make sure that your visual aids are assisting in accomplishing the purpose of your speech. They should help to clarify, provide information, or to persuade. Make sure that your visual aids are helping with your presentation, not distracting from what you are saying. 3. Make sure your visual aids are visible to the entire audience. Your visual aid should be big enough and also should be clear enough for everyone in the audience to be able to see easily. 4. Practice with your visual aids ahead of time. It is so easy to be clumsy and awkward with visual aids. So here are some steps to practicing with your visual aids ahead of time. One thing to keep in mind is not to stand in front of your visual aid. If you're standing in front of the visual aid, you're blocking someone from being able to see what you are presenting. Also, don't show your visual aid for the entirety of your speech. Pick out certain points during your speech that would make sense to have your visual aid being displayed, and only show your visual aid during that specific part, and then put it away. One way you can do this is by putting a blank slide in between your photos in your digital presentation. So if you have a photo that's displaying what you're talking about, you can refer to it and then click it to the next slide and have it be a blank slide so it's not distracting. Step 5, have a backup plan. Things happen all the time, especially on important days like when you need to be giving a speech. Technology fails us. So you need to have a backup just in case. The way to do this is have multiple ways of accessing your presentation. If you have a Prezi or a PowerPoint, have it saved in multiple locations. Be able to access it off of the internet. Another thing to do is to prepare yourself in case your technology or anything does not work in the moment. What are you going to do when you are giving your speech and you can't access the photo that you are going to refer to? Plan ahead so you don't get freaked out in the moment and you can keep your composure and finish your speech. These 5 tips will help you with using visual aids to accompany your speech. So present with confidence. You're going to do great.
So you can see that we can see different tips to use the visual aids in the speak. And you see that we have 5 tips. So you can see here, the first one you need to prepare, and then we have to practice. So again, you see the magic term. So for me, I call it magic term. So everything should be the practice. And then it's very important for us to have a backup plan. That is very important because sometimes the technology or something in terms of visual aids it doesn't work, and how is it possible for us to do things, or do we have to stop, or do we have to delay things? So we have to prepare for us. That is one. So I hope that everyone can see these tips useful and helpful for you later on for your presentation. And then we can come to the last one, which I use humor in public speaking. So this one, it's not very easy, but you can see that one of the audience people in the audience just mentioned that he often use using humor. So Mr. Humor, you often use humor in the speaking. So can you share some kind of experience in using humor in the talk, in the presentation?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I would like to hear some kind of sharing from you.
Well, like I said before, I never had the opportunity to do public speaking before, but actually, this webinar webinar should have been divided into 2 parts, like public speaking online, public speaking on site. But I've been teaching online for almost 2.5 years. So humor, like, I don't know. I mean, I usually start on my classes with making some jokes, small questions, trying to cheer my students up with the current situations going on about this pandemic. Sometimes I make jokes, quite a lot of jokes actually, like, please update your I know of you, it's got COVID, because I would like to update my antivirus program. You've got any of your COVID, like making jokes like this, and it works. That's what I do, what I've been doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we see that we have different ways, and one of the ways for you, to have the jokes in your class, and then you can help your students, or maybe you can cheer your student up. Yes, some people here mentioned that maybe they find some job videos, for sure. So we are not very good at telling jokes or using humor.
I for one am not good at telling jokes. This has something to do with my background. So like I said at the beginning of this webinar, I'm not an academician or I'm not a lecturer. I'm just trying to be one. So I've just been teaching for 12 years. I'm still a learner. I'm at the beginning of my career. I still has got a lot of things to do, you know, to learn. So yeah, but I'm trying my best, but making jokes.
Yeah. And it seems like sometimes it seems even more challenging for you, Ajahn Tuna, especially when you are teaching in Thailand who share, I mean, the learners are, I mean, they do not share the same culture as you. So sometimes
that's a big problem, Dr. Yusuf. That's a big problem. That's because, like I said, it's all about my background, because, you know, my university degree and what I'm currently doing completely different, you know.
So especially sometimes when we make joke to students in English, maybe sometimes they do not understand what we are talking about. So sometimes even we are the only one who get laugh. You know?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I understand. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, using humor, it can be easier if we share the same culture as our audience, but it can be more even challenging if we do not share the same culture as our audience.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. You see that, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if we use the joke or the humor in a foreign language, it's not very easy. Yeah, to help our students understand. And some of the suggestions from the audience is that maybe we can find some jokes maybe on we use the clip. Yeah, and then if we use the video clip, and then it's really easier for the students to see things and then can absorb the sense of humor and in the clip, and then it's really okay. So the other one person from Sujala mentioned that do some color research to avoid offensive humor. Yeah, for sure. Offensive humor is not very good, and meant it may provoke some kind of I don't know, but it seems a little bit unsuitable. Yeah, in the speech or in the classroom. Yes. So here one mentioned that from the English joke is quite difficult to understand. Yeah, for sure, because we need to get deep inside and the underlying meanings of the jokes, and then we can understand things. So this is one of the ways we can use. And if you can use the humor in the public speaking, that's really good. If you can't, it's okay. That's just one of the ways. So you will see things here, do funny quotes. Yeah, so just simple. Yeah, some simple sentences or simple statements, and then everyone can understand it, and then maybe that's really okay. And maybe some statement or some utterances made by famous people, for example, and then it will be okay because everyone can understand what that statement is, and then we can help to try to make things a little bit worse or maybe a little bit exaggerated, for example. And then the third idea is, so we have to make the statement a little bit stronger in terms of things that we are mentioning too. Yes, and so you can tell about your fun stories, and then everyone can understand, because for example, Ajahn Tuna, if you are living in Thailand, and then you talk about yourself, maybe some kind of fun stories, and your students know you very well, and then they will laugh, and then it's really okay, because that is one of the ways for you to cheer your students up. Yeah, so I believe.
I do. Sometimes I tell them funny stories. You know, I draw my experience in Thailand. I tell them about funny stories. I sometimes do.
Yes, yeah, thank you. And so now maybe that's brings me the end of my presentation, my talk. And here before we can stop and we can come to the code, maybe a short wrap up, and then I hope it will help you to remember things that I just talked. And then after that, we can have the Q&A. Yeah, so just wait for me a moment, and then I'm going to share the code. So maybe it's better for you to log in this one, the website.
Yeah, Kahoot.
Right.
We use this website a lot. Not teaching. Kahoot. What is this?
Please wait for me a moment. So we see that many people are logging to play this kind of game. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any prize for you, any awards for you because this is your virtual. If it was in person, yeah, it would be very. I could have some kind of prizes for you. And among the audience, among many people here, yeah, they are my students. Maybe in my next class, I will talk to them and then I have some kind of awards. Yeah. So I hope that everyone is ready.
Yes.
So Hoa Mỹ. Yes, we have next one. Yeah, Hoa Mỹ again. Oh, yes, I don't know. Yeah, who is that? So I dot again. Yeah, the question number 4. Yes. So I again, just so maybe a little bit mysterious about the person named A. So the question number 5, to get the audience attention, you should so make fun of them, stare at them, start a speech with a question, laugh at them. So the answer is start a speech with a question. Oh, another person coming up. Yeah, question number 6. When delivering a speech, you should avoid smiling, putting hands in pockets, looking at the floor, looking at notes. So there's some kind of things that we mentioned, we discussed during the talk. Yeah, maybe that's enough for my presentation. Yeah, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Maybe it's time for the Q&A.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. John Wooptow, for your insightful presentation. I'm sure we all have learned many practical tips for improving our speech from this talk. Okay, so now Dr. John Wooptow will answer some questions from the audience. If you want to ask him some live questions, please select the raise hand icon. Alternatively, you can type your question in the chat box. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. Anyone?
So if possible, you can raise your voice. Yeah, it's okay. So I know that a lot of you, from the audience, you have taken the course of public speaking in your curriculum, and then you may feel quite familiar with the content that I just mentioned, but to some extent, and the other points may be a little bit new to you, or if you don't have any questions, you just share your experience or some of your thoughts, and then we can understand things better. Yeah, just go ahead, everyone.
Okay, let's start the question then. I mean, I have some experience discussing with my students at the university regarding the public speaking course, for example, and I found out that most of my students, they somehow are fear of the impromptu speech when comparing to prepared speech. And based on your experience, do you have any suggestion for those students to overcome, I mean, the impromptu speech? I mean, in order to increase their motivation, how to, how to prepare themselves, or how to be confident regarding the impromptu speech? Yeah, they mostly prefer prepared speech. They dislike impromptu speech at all sometimes. Yes. Because they somehow think that okay, they might lose their face, when they have to speak like an impromptu speech in front of the public. So do you have any motivation or any suggestion in order to motivate them or to overcome this kinds of phenomenon? Yes.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, you know that this is one of the biggest questions for everyone, not for me, maybe for most of people in the audience. You know, when we are unprepared for something, we seem to be very uncertain about the things that we are talking about, and sometimes we may think that we may feel lose face in front of people. So if you take it easy and everything's really be okay, because if you are too nervous and then you can't say anything, you just focus on the things that you know. And sometimes people just ask you to say something. It means that they just want to hear from your opinion. yeah, or your opinion is much more important than the other things, because yeah, they want to know what you think about this or you think about that, and then that's really okay. If you just stress yourself and then you think that it is very serious, and then because you think that you are unprepared for things, and then you might say that, oh yeah, this kind of topic is very tough for me, I can't answer this, and then you can't answer that question for sure. And if you think that, oh, it's just the question for you to reflect what you know, and then you just say it. And if you don't know, you just you maybe you try to be honest, maybe give me some seconds, or maybe give me some time to think about that, and I will answer that kind of question later, and that's really okay. And sometimes for the impromptu speech, usually people do not force you to answer. You have the right to be reluctant or to refuse to give your answer, because they want to hear your opinion or your ideas about something. That's my idea. I don't know what about the others.
And based on your experience, do you have any suggestion? I mean, for example, if we have we are giving speech and the audience asks the question and we have no idea how to answer the question. So do you have any suggestion how to deal with that situation?
Yes, so from my own experience, a lot of times I have been asked to give some kind of questions. So for me, I just make an excuse. Maybe we say that just give me some seconds and let me think, or I will ask that person again. So do you want me to give my opinion, or do you want me to give the true answer, or some kind of things that they are really looking for? If they just ask me, oh here, just give your opinion about this and that. Oh, that's really okay for me, and we give my opinion, because my opinion may be suitable for you or not suitable for you. That is okay for me, because that's in my own opinion. And then you ask me, and then I just give you your opinion. And if you are asked to deliver an impromptu speech, and then you have to make sure that you are not nervous. If you are really nervous, you can't say anything, because you forget everything, because you just focus on your psychology, on your emotion. You just think that, oh, this is the thing that you have to say, and this and that. And then basically I mentioned that psychology, or we say emotion, it plays an important part in answering or delivering an impromptu speech, because when you are nervous, you might forget everything. You don't have anything in your mind, and then you may not say anything. That's my suggestion. You just focus on what you can understand, what you can say, and then try to calm yourself down. And a lot of people suddenly people ask you to come to the stage to give or to deliver a speech. And then maybe that situation is very, a lot of people might say that, oh, that situation is very terrible for them, because they have to face a big challenge for themselves. So just calm down and take a deep breath and look at friendly faces and try to think and brainstorm. Maybe you just trying to be honest that, please give me some seconds, and then I'm going to talk about this and that. That's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some questions in the chat box. Okay, so the first one, do you have any suggestion on how to give student feedback in public speaking courses?
Yes, that's a very wonderful question, because a lot of people, they have to deliver a speech, and then the others in the audience, they have to give the feedback. So first of all, the role of the lecturer or the teacher in the classroom is very important, because that person is dominant in the class, and that person will help the students how to give the feedback. If the teacher or the lecturer does not know how to give the feedback to the presenter, and then everything will fail. So we need to train our students how to give the feedback. So basically, everyone wants to listen to the positive feedback. So it's better for us to least to give the positive feedback, more than the negative feedbacks, because we need to get encouragement instead of discouragement in the things. So we need to point out, or we need to have the criteria for the students so that they can base on, and then we can have some kind of practice for the students to give the feedback to each other. And by doing that way, I'm sure that the students they can do things in terms of giving feedback. And remember, we have to emphasize that positive feedback is more important than negative feedback, because positive feedback can lift people up, and people can do things more. People can do things better. That's in my answer.
Okay, so another question in the chat box. Do you have vocal exercises for improving your speaking voice?
So it means that do we have to practice? So it's better for us to practice a lot, because when we practice and then the voice will be clear or not clear, it depends on the way we practice. So sometimes a lot of people, they use some kind of device to record their voice to hear whether it's okay or not. And if you are alone, if you are with your friend, it's better for you to ask your friend to listen to your speech, and then ask that person to give the feedback to your speech. And in terms of the voice, is it okay or not? And sometimes the voice is not really okay, because that is your body, your I don't know, but your psychology or biology, because your body, your voice is that you can't change, but somehow in some way you can change a little bit, time by time, maybe by practice. That is the magic term I want to say. Practice and practice, and then your voice will be okay. And it's better for you to practice a lot. And if you want to use to say or to speak in a foreign language, sometimes you need to listen to the native speakers a lot, because when you listen to, and then you will accommodate, or you change your voice in the way that the native speakers say, because we are learning the foreign language and not your mother tongue. And that's sometimes we say the accommodation theory. It means that the more we listen, the more we can change or adjust our accent. That's it, the way. Then we can't change our accent or our voice in maybe the overnight. And a lot of people, they have a very wonderful talent, because they can adjust or they can imitate exactly what the native speakers say in terms of accent.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe one last question. What would you do if you make some jokes, but the audience don't get it?
Yes, so
that's quite awkward, right?
Yes, for sure, because a lot of people can't understand what we are saying, because we are not sure about the audience. We don't understand the audience, because we tell the jokes, but the joke doesn't work very well. That's why we have to use the simplified joke, or we have to use some kind of funny and something that is relevant to the audience. If we just use some kind of joke, it's beyond the audience understanding, and then it doesn't work. We need to know our audience well, and then we can use the joke, and I believe that it will work very well.
Okay, so any questions? Any more questions? Maybe I want to ask one question.
Actually, there is one more question in the chat box.
Okay. So would you like to, can you recommend any sources for voice practice?
Okay, thank you. So it depends on you. For example, you are the foreign language learners of English. So it depends on the way that, or the accent or the voice that you want to practice. For example, if you would prefer the British accent, it's better for you to go to the YouTube, to see the Rachel's English. That person is very famous, the Rachel English, because that person is teaching American English. And if you prefer the British English, maybe I recommend the Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson, that man is very famous because he uses the British accent, and then he has a lot of podcasts. So maybe I need to type the name in the chat box, and then it will be easier for you to look podcasts and Rachel's English. Go to the YouTube, and then you will see see a lot of clips for you, and it depends on you. So everyone, you need to pay attention, or you need to be keen on the accent that you want to practice. If you prefer a typical one, you just focus on that accent for a long time, and then everything will be fine for you. And if you listen to different types or recite the varieties of accent, and then nothing for you, because you have to base on one typical accent, and then you listen to that again and again, and then you will have that kind of accent, or you desire to have. Thank you.
Okay, so I have one question. Is from me. Okay, can you recommend some speaking activities for English language learners? From your experience, which one works for you?
Yes, thank you for your question. You see that a lot of people, they may have different types of activities, and they have to find out the one suitable for themselves. And from my own experience, in order to practice the speaking skills, it's better for us to have a conversation, because the more we speak, the better we can improve our speaking skill. If you don't speak, you just you see that you just think in your head, and then everything is still in your head. So for me, if you're alone, it's a little bit hard, but if you are with your friends, it's really a little bit easier. But in some cases, you are just alone, and it's better for you to speak out. You just say things around, and then try to say things out, and then it's either way for you to say. Because when you say out, it means that maybe you, for the first time, you may make some kind of mistakes, and then you may recognize, oh for this sentence I make a mistake, and then for the second time, and then you say it out, and then you try to fix it. And from my own experience, and back to my childhood, maybe 20 years ago, when I was young, I didn't have any friends who could talk in English. That's what I had to speak English every time I had to. It means that during the time when I did the exercise, or when I went out to buy something, I just talk to English. And that's really one of the ways for me to improve my speaking skills. And currently we have a lot of things. For example, we can watch something, and we can share that what the speakers in the clip or in the audio clips, and then it's really be good for you, because we share what they are speaking. It means that things will have in your mind. It means that it's in the input, and then we have the input. It means that we listen, we practice our listening skill, and we try to say things now, and it's also the ways for us to improve our speaking skills. Thank you for your question.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. John Wooptow, once again for answering those questions. It's what a pleasure to have you with us. So Dr. John Wooptow has given us many useful advice about ways to improve our speech, covering topics such as speech preparation, structure, time and space management, body language, and many more, right? So audience, could I ask you a very big favor? Could you kindly complete the evaluation form by clicking the link? Okay, so I will send the link now. So let's look at the link there. And your feedback is highly valuable and help us better organize the next event. Okay, so maybe I give you a few minutes to complete those.
And I would like to take this chance, this opportunity to thank you, you all for your presence. And
okay,
yes.
so when you do the evaluation form, there will be one question that's asked you for the lecturer. So can you please select Assistant Professor Dr. Yusuf Bunsuk, please. Okay, so after you finish completing the evaluation form, you can also pick up your certificate, okay, by clicking another link, okay? So we will send out another link now.
So Dr. Tao, thank you very much for you sharing your experience today and sharing your knowledge. Yeah, we have learned so many things, and I'm strongly believe that the audience will be able to apply what you have just presented to us today to their real life practice. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your invitation, and thank you, your audience, for your contribution along the way. And thank you for being here until now, because it took us around 2 hours to be together. And I think that this is a very wonderful experience for me and many of the others. And
and thank you very much for your students. Yeah, it can be clearly see that there are many students from your side. Yeah, hope we can see them in person in the future. Okay, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I would like to thank Prince of Songkla University for sponsoring this presentation. And let me remind you, our next event on the 8th of December. Okay, so set the date. The next talk will be The Myth of Nativeness in English Language Teaching by our distinguished speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Ali Karagas. Okay, so I hope to see you all there. Okay, so these conclude the webinar. So thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this amazing presentation by Dr. John Wooptow. Okay, so see you again on the 8th of December. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ajahn Dr. Tao again. Yes. And also we have thank you, Ajahn Parivat, for your lovely moderator today. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Hope we will be able to, to do some kinds of projects. For the future. Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to.
Yeah, I need to be here for a while for someone. They might are working on their certificates and their evaluation forms. So.
Oh, I can leave now? Or...
yes, you can leave now, actually. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
much. Enjoy your trip. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Yes.
And hope that I can see you in Hajai, okay, when you come back.
Yeah,
okay?
I see you. Yeah, I catch you later.
Okay, thank you very much for
today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.